Well, welcome to Clear Lake Drive. This is gonna be kind of a longer video than I'm usually doing, just because I haven't been in the woods since, I don't know, beginning of November, when I was stopped bow hunting down in the center of my forest. And I'm in the creek, and I haven't walked down my creek. I always like to walk it in the spring just to see if there's log jams, any trees that have pulled out of the bank, anything unusual. Make sure there's like no dead deer rotting in it. I guess I have nothing I can do about it if there is, but I thought maybe it'd make an interesting video. People get a look at what my creek bottom looks like. I can walk down at any time I really want to, because it's here. You never know what you'll find. I found arrowheads and Indian artifacts washed up on the gravel bars. I've found dead deer. I find bones. People around me own cattle, and over the years I've found cattle bones when they've lost a cattle or a cow. And so you just never know what you're really going to find. So we're going to walk this together. There's a bunch of bait fish in the deeper water here. They probably came out of the overflow. Well, I doubt that they came out of the overflow of my pond. My pond's still not high enough to overflow yet, but possible. I'll have to check that when I leave. See, it's stuff like this. This is a mess, and I'm going to need to come in here and cut some of it up. That right there, when we're at flood stage for this, which really it hardly ever floods anymore, it's so deep. But the water washes up against the logs that are jammed up there and against this one, which obviously came loose from the bank because it was dead. And it just churns in here, right here on the curve, makes a pool. The water's deeper here. Hopefully not deeper than my boots, but now I'm good. There we go. There's lots of little frogs jumping around and minnows swimming in the creek. I've got minnow traps. You can bring them and put them in the narrow sections and chase the minnows up into the tight spots and get them in the trap and get yourself some fishing bait. Here's a classic spot to do that. I don't know if you can see all the little minnows swimming around. They're swimming back upstream, but they were in this little pool here. Here's a small area of fast running water, and now some of them are actually in the current swimming down with it. You set the minnow trap in here, put a bunch of rocks and sand on the sides of it, so they have to go in it to swim upstream, and they swim in the minnow trap. And then you have bait. This one's been laying in the creek for 2 years. It actually fell out here. It was laying across there. So it's moved some. And actually, this gravel bank I'm standing on right here, I found an arrowhead 1 year, and the next year after that, the same spot, found a drill. There were a couple of thousand years old, and I believe there was a cache probably buried somewhere in the ground here that the Indians had left arrowheads and tools in it for when they were moving back and forth, and that way when they got here, there would already be arrowheads and tools, and they'd be ready to hunt. And if they lost arrows, then or broke the tips off, they would have extra tips ready to go without having to make more. The river's about 1.5 miles away, and this creek that runs through my property is main artery to the river for the creeks and the water runoff around here. It's nice and low now. A lot of sand, a lot of pea gravel. And it's a good 8 feet minimum over the sides. And some of it's straight down. You get hurt falling if you don't know what you're doing. Here's another little tiny tributary that joins it. And because they meet here, the water is deeper for a little bit right here where they converge. And it's all sand in here. There's a nice deer trail going up the hill. I helped the deer find a spot. I did that with a tractor just to give them an easy spot that they could cross. Yeah, it provides me with an easy spot to wait for them if I want to, but that's how that goes. And you can see in the sand, there's deer tracks all in it. None of them too fresh. In fact, there's not a fresh set in there at all. There's more over here, but oh, there's a fresh one. Probably from last night. It's already got stuff falling in it. So, might have been from this morning. Yeah, I would say probably this morning. It was moist enough this all fell in, but you see the edges are all still real nice and sharp there. And then all these little lines in the sand, those are from worms. And that would be a nice big black walnut that I cut down so that it would have the opportunity to dry out. It's not touching the ground except at the top. And I got a friend that I'll have come over with his backhoe and he'll pull this thing out, and then I'll put that 10-foot section there on the mill, and then I'll put that 10-foot section on the mill and get a whole bunch of nice black walnut boards of multiple sizes. Yep, and yes, that is a steel ladder. And those are deer tracks all in the creek bottom. They have another place they like to come down and cross right there. And the ladder would be there because that is up on the top of the hill. Ooh, sand's tore up in here good, a lot of traffic in here. That's good. We might actually get to some deep spots here where I can't even walk through it without getting in too deep and filling my boot, but maybe I'll get lucky and things will go my way. Stepping on it's easier than stepping over it. Oh yeah. Things are real busy right here. They got this all chewed up. A lot of heavy traffic. We're pushing our luck here. Let's see, they got another place they like to cross over here. Maybe they got that really worn down. But not recently. Old tracks. Another spot where I'm gonna have to be very choosy about where I walk, or else watch and walk, or I'm going to end up with water in my boots. Not too bad. I had room to spare. Good. But the tracks there show that they have been using it. Just the rain washed them down. Last night was interesting. We were under a tornado watch, and then it turned into a warning for like 3.5 hours. North of me and south of me ended up having high winds and tornadic clouds in the upper atmosphere. And one of the towns along the front line had hail the size of a $50. So definitely big enough to dent your car, break your windows, punch holes. And we'll go down the deer trail here and see if we can cross. Punch holes in your siding. Damage your roof. Woo! Almost slipped and fell. Yeah, it's too deep to walk there. Hopefully I'm not going to be making a splash video. Not exactly on my agenda today. Here's an interesting empty sycamore tree. We'll take a look, and well, that's nice. At least we didn't see a raccoon's face staring at us. That might be fun for you, but not for me. Oh boy, the log's a little on the slippery side. Let's see. I think I can muster this. I'm getting old, but hopefully not too old. Oh, the log's moving. There we go. What a great day. It's going to get cold starting Sunday. We'll have probably at least 2, maybe 3 nights where it gets to freezing or below. I'll frost seed my alfalfa and my clover. That field's done. I'll roll up a couple of shorts showing how that went. But see, now we're going to be getting into where the bigger stone is. And there's black stone. I hear that that's a good sign in these type of creeks for the possibility of maybe finding gold. Wouldn't that be fun? Like I need another hobby. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Yes, to most, I'm sure this is just a boring walk down the creek, but here's another tributary that comes from fields and land that, go back as far as 3/4 of a mile from here and feed down in through here. And you can see when it's really rolling and all that water comes through, you don't want to be anywhere down here. It's a mess. Yeah, we're getting into a part where the water is consistently deeper. One of the problems with living out in the country is over time in the old days, they just felt like throwing crap out in a pile, and it's findable almost everywhere. It's just what they did. It's strange that you've got this metal and all this garbage piled up that was here, and there's a deer trail going right through all of that mess. They don't care. They just want to get to where they're going. And then of course you find stuff like this that came from upstream somewhere. Look at the size of the white wall on that tire. Well, that's new. And it may have been here since the 50s. And just the water and the creek and the sand has moved around enough that it brought it up. And see, we might be getting to a point here where I'm going to have to get out of the creek bottom because it's going to leave me no place shallow enough to get through with my boots. Let's see what we got here. We go up here a little bit. It's too deep right there because it's been churning. I think I can find a spot. Yeah, right here is good. Whoa! Oops, stepped in a hole there. Yep. This be it without getting out of the creek. So let's get out and go around that. Let's see, I can get up here. Things get pretty tall here. Perfect. There's another deer trail that over the years has worn itself down because they use it so much. Let's take a look back at it. And actually the water comes down it now. Probably take all day to load this. We'll do this tomorrow. More spots that you never know when you look at it what you might see. I think what I'll have to do, I'll post on my community page a hollow tree I found last fall. Looked in it in the morning into the hollow spot out. It had a possum in it. And actually some would say, oh, possums, those are ugly animals. Well, this one wasn't. He was actually very cute, or she. Wasn't sticking my hand in there to lift its tail to see which one it was, but this possum was pure snow white with black ears and just looked back at me, and I took pictures and wasn't thinking about making a video of it. I probably should have, but didn't. Just took a couple of pictures and went to what I was doing. More deer tracks on the creek and the sand. All of them old. A couple of days at least before the rain. We didn't get that much last night, but I'm in sand, so it would be enough to make them all look crummy and not have sharp edges. Yeah. This is it. Yeah, I think I can still get through here. Yep. Oh yeah, about an inch away from the top of my boots. Ooh, let's see what we have here. Ooh, we got away. Where did you go, buddy? Yep, I missed him. Saw a frog go underneath that rock. I'm not going to dig him out. Yeah. Gets way deeper going there, and we are not going there. So, let's turn around. Get out of here. Nothing major, no problems. I'm going to have to unjam that little area with a chainsaw back at the beginning, but that's not a problem. I'm kind of happy. For the most part, things have been pretty calm all winter. We had that early snow, and that was it. Let's see here. That's a good spot right here. All right. Well, this is a thick, nasty walk back home. I'm going to end it here, because playing around with the camera is a good opportunity to get poked in the eye by something because I'm not paying attention. And I won't be coming back in here for a long time. All these sticks, twigs that you see growing up in here that aren't obviously trees. All this and this is all poison ivy. And I do not want to be walking through this after it leaves up. See you later.